Guys, welcome back to the Construction Business Blueprint YouTube channel, the only place where construction business owners can find information on how to get more time, more profit and more control of their business and life. So this week I want to talk you through something that I believe sets the entire tone of your year, and like always I'm going to do it slightly differently. So I'm going to show you how you can plan your entire Q1 in less than 60 minutes, because I know most people maybe watch these videos where are very time poor and you're thinking to yourself, I don't have time to sit and plan Q1, I'm busy, I've got a lot of work on. So 1 hour, rather than watching a Netflix episode, rather than flicking through your phone, doom scrolling, you can actually plan your entire Q1 in under 60 minutes. So this is the exact method that I use myself and the exact process that I walk my own clients through. It works in small construction businesses from whatever right up to large businesses. So say 100K, one man, to large companies, 5-6 million turnover. It's all the same and everything in between. And like I always say, let me get this straight, let me get this right from the very beginning. Do not wait until January to plan your Q1. We obviously had those sessions. If you're a regular on the channel, we've done the whole Q4 planning session. I do it with my clients again every year, every quarter. Always be planning ahead. So do not wait until the time to actually start planning. You're already behind. January can be chaos. Everybody comes back at once. Clients suddenly remember everything they forgot to tell you. Teams are half switched on, they're only waking up. Suppliers can be slow because of their backlog and how they manage their close off in 2025. And you get absolutely zero headspace. If you wait until January to plan January, you're going to already be behind. So right now in December is where the clarity actually happens. So it's an opportunity to have a bit more calm, to be a bit more reflective, and you actually have headspace to think. This is the best time of year to actually plan. So when January hits, the whole industry wakes up like it's just been plugged back in. Everyone's come back fresh with ideas, ready to take on the world, or they can be. Clients want updates, team need direction, invoices start kicking back up again, deadlines kick in, and all the problems that you didn't fix in November and December come straight back and slap you in the face. Every year, business owners tell themselves, I'll get it organized in January, but you won't, and you don't, and you never have. It's always been the same thing, and then bang, January hits you again, another year has passed, and the business hasn't really moved on much. So January never is really a planning month. January sort of like a reaction month, or finding your flow again and getting back into the swing of things. So planning now at this time of year gives you control, structure, and momentum. And momentum is everything. So let's talk about what Q1 planning is actually for. So planning for Q1 isn't about setting 40 unrealistic targets and hoping you'll magically do them all. This whole new year, new me is not practical at all. It's about starting the year intentionally. Because like I've already said, Q1 sets the tone for the entire year. Your January will determine how the rest of the year goes. So it's about regaining momentum from the previous year, tightening up your systems, resetting your standards, getting your cash flow moving again, getting it predictable, taking control of your pipeline, your projects, your team, whatever it may be, getting your team aligned with your vision, and giving yourself a clear direction. So if you get Q1 right, you'll build confidence. And that confidence then carries into Q2, Q3, and Q4. And if you start Q1 behind, then you will spend the rest of the year trying to catch up. So it's not just always about starting fresh in Q1, you have to also be reflective, and that's why this time of the year is a good time to do it. You have to think of what it is that you want to leave behind in 2025 going into 2026. That is as important of all the new things you want to do. It's what are the things you want to stop doing, what are the things you want to leave behind and move on and fix and change. So what do you not want to bring into 2026 and what needs left behind in 2025? Most business owners try to plan forward without clearing what's been dragging them backwards. New ideas won't fix old problems. You need to fix the problem at the core instead of just putting a band-aid over it and hoping for the best. And if you don't intentionally leave something or someone behind, you will accidentally or intentionally, subconsciously take it into the new year. So think about it. What behaviors, habits, mindsets, beliefs, or problems are you done with from 2025? So is it firefighting and reacting without any planning, underpricing your work or not being clear on your margins, taking on the wrong type of clients or projects that just don't really serve you or don't excite you anymore, being too involved on the tools or micromanaging everything, poor communication, chaotic handovers, letting team issues drag on, saying yes to everything, working without structure, not delegating, not setting boundaries, whatever jumps out at you there from that list, whatever hits you in the head first, pick that thing. That's the thing where I was going through that list and you went, yeah, definitely that. If it was all of them, fine. Pick the one that hurts you the most. Pick the one that's been going on and on and on again for so long. Pick the hardest one and move from there. Because what you want to leave behind determines your Q1 target, your team decisions, because your team might change, responsibilities might change, your system focus, because your systems might need to change, you might need to find a new way of doing something, your habits might need to change, your beliefs of what is actually possible and how you're going to do it, and your whole strategy for 2026 depends on what it is you want to stop doing before you can plan the new things. So it's almost the emotional line in the sand. What's the end of this year? What is the end going to be? And that's where we're going to start from then after that. So we'll have to know kind of where we're drawing the line in the sand and then moving on. So let's look at my 60-minute Q1 planning template. And this is something you can copy off straight away. Just listen to this video, going through it as we're going through it together. This is the practical part. Here's how you plan your entire Q1 in less than an hour. So pick one quarterly target. If you pick one big target for Q1, not 5, not 10, just one target that if achieved would make the biggest impact and the biggest difference to your business. Those examples might be something big like hiring in a new team member, removing yourself from the tools, building your job costing system, increasing your margins, improving your lead quality, improving the size of projects or the type of projects that you're doing. One big overarching thing. It could even just be building your marketing engine or doing something, having things systemized. It could be anything at all. But pick the one major thing that you think can make the biggest difference, and then we reverse engineer it. Because when you pick one big target, you actually create direction. When you have 5, you create overwhelm and you create stress. And think of it this way, if you think that one thing isn't enough, if you can change one major thing every 90 days, do that 4 times a year, and your business becomes absolutely unrecognizable. I don't mean small, easy wins. I'm thinking of one big major change to your team, to your business, to your profit margins, whatever it may be, something that's going to make a big impact. If you've done one of those every quarter, at the end of the year, your business will be night and day compared to what it was starting off in Q1. So number 2, we're going to look at your pipeline and your capacity. So this is where most construction business owners get caught out. They pick a target, like a financial target or number of projects or number of jobs, without checking the reality of their upcoming workload, what they already have planned or the type of projects that they're committed to. Your pipeline obviously determines your next quarter. If your January is full of low quality, low margin, stressful jobs, all the stuff that you didn't really want to do that maybe was booked in from 2025, that will affect the target that you pick. So if you've got space in your calendar, if you're one of those people who hasn't quite been fully booked up into Q1, the target may be bigger or more strategic. So you need to look at the pipeline. What work is confirmed? What's pending? What's likely? What's dead? What do you not want anymore? What do you determine as high value? You have to sort of look at that type of project you actually want. What do you want to fill that pipeline with? Get it written down, the type of project. Actually, think about it, visualize it. Who has those types of projects? Is it an architect? Is it a builder? Is it a partner you want to team up with? Is it direct to a client? Is it a certain area? Who has those projects? Who has availability? And how do you get them? Then you need to look at what needs priced, what needs followed up. But you also have to look at, when we talk about like cash forecasts or cash flow forecasts in terms of your margin and what you can take on and putting targets in place, it doesn't have to be something overcomplicated. Most construction business owners, they think of cash forecasts as something that, has to be done by an accountant. But it is simply, what work do you have booked in? What is the value of that work that you've booked in? And where does that sit in terms of what you want to be? It's as simple as that. Look at the work you have booked in. Look at when payments are due to land. What times of the month you're going to have money in, money out. It needs to be as simple as that. And you have all that information there. You know what jobs you're doing. You know the prices of the projects. You know the invoice values. And you also know what your outgoings are. So it'd be easy there to work out, what's coming in, what's going out, what your targets want to be. If last year it was, 40K a month, 100K a month, and you want next month to be 150K, there's a 50K difference there. How many more projects do you need at what value? What does that look like for you? So it's easy to work that out at a really basic level and then work it out from there. So based on the workload, then we're going to move on to team roles and hiring gaps. So if you're looking to expand or change things, move things around, look at different types of projects, who do you need around you to enable you to actually fulfill that or carry that out or go and get that work? So that could be strategic partnerships with architects, other people in the industry, marketing, it could be whatever. So what team roles, hiring gaps, or things missing there do you need to fill in order to get that work? And this is where most construction business owners create their own bottleneck. That's where the owner becomes a bottleneck in their own business. You can have the best plans in the world, but if you've got holes in your team, if you've got underperformers, if you don't have enough guys to fulfill the work, then your plan falls apart. So ask yourself this question in your team or even in yourself. Who's overloaded? Who's underperforming? Who's the bottleneck? Who needs replaced? Who needs support or upskilling? Because I always say, point the finger at yourself. Those guys may be underperforming because of the lack of communication you're giving them, the lack of preparation. You're putting them under tight deadlines or time scales. So as a manager, as an owner, what do you need to do to help your team? Then look at yourself. What one role or task could you remove the most pressure from you, the business owner? What's the one thing you could delegate and possibly bring somebody else in to lighten that load? For most construction business owners, that's an admin role. The things that you're doing in the evening, the weekend, between jobs, but they're absolutely essential, need to be done. So do you need to hire admin? Do you need a PM? Do you need help on site, or do you need a coach or mentor or something like that, like me, to come in and look at your business through a different lens, from a different angle, and help you to break that down and help you show you exactly where your gaps are and where your issues are? Because your business grows at the speed of your team, and that's not just the guys who work for you, that is the people around you. That is the people that you work for, your clients, the people who are giving you the opportunity, like architects, builders. It could be like myself, like a mentor or a coach in business. It could be a marketing team. It could be anybody. Who are the people around you? And those people around you, and that business, or that team, your business grows to around those people. So the business grows at the speed of your team and the quality of their team, but also by the speed and quality of the direction that you give it. So fixing team structure is one of the most powerful things that you can do in Q1. So I touched on it there very briefly in terms of, locking in work and knowing, if you have a target for what kind of margins you want to be hitting or what kind of turnover you want to be hitting, and that's how you book in the work. That's how you notice the difference between the 100K months or 150K months or whatever it may be. Let's now look at that cash flow plan. Again, cash flow is the oxygen of your business. It does not operate without it. You can survive bad months, you can survive bad clients, you can take a hit here and there if your cash flow is strong. If it's not, everything falls down by the slightest thing happening. So you can survive all of those knocks, but you cannot survive bad cash flow. So you need a simple but clear plan for Q1 in terms of your cash flow. So you need to look at these headlines. What's coming in weekly in terms of invoicing? What are your milestone payments on projects? What's coming in and when? Then you need to look at what's going out. What are your overheads? What is your salary, your wages, admin, vans, insurance, whatever else? Tally that up. Any of my clients watching this, obviously they already have all that in place. We have all those systems and processes in place, and you know exactly every penny, every pound is coming in and out of your business, what exactly your overheads are, whatever. But for somebody watching this that's only starting off, that's the easy way to do that. What's coming into the business and what's going out of the business. Then you need to look at what jobs are landing and when. So when are jobs starting? Are there deposits being taken? What are the milestone payments? And you need to sort of map them out in the calendar. I would even advise opening the calendar and not locking in those dates for when you think those payments are going to be landed, and that's going to tell you when you'll have money and what you can do with it at your disposal. We also need to look at, most importantly, when payments are owed. And again, it could be as simple as opening your calendar and blocking them in. Don't be leaving it to chance. Don't be leaving it to the client asking you for invoices. Lock in your calendar that invoices need to be issued by certain dates. Put certainty behind it. Put clarity behind it, because then you don't have to think about it every day. So it doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need to be an accountant, but you do need visibility. You need to be able to see these things. If it's in front of you and you can review it on a weekly basis, it calms everything down. It makes you be able to look at things more strategically rather than panicking every time you look at your bank balance. Cash flow clarity removes anxiety. It lets you make confident decisions, because you know if there's an opportunity coming up or a project lands, you know when you'll have money coming in, you know what's going out, and you'll have confidence to be able to make decisions based on those figures, which then in turn stops you making emotional choices under pressure or under panic. Taking on jobs, panicking because of what your bank balance looks like, because you haven't reviewed and realized that, okay, we've got a job starting in 3 weeks, that's coming in then, we can work things around until then, etc., etc. So you start panic hiring, taking on too much, or start panic accepting jobs and saying yes to everything in your path because you're panicking to try and get a few quid in by the end of the week. So step 5 is probably the most important one. Habits and reviews. This is the part that everybody skips, and this is why most business owners drift after February. Your habits and reviews are what hold your plan together. Ideas and goals without a plan in place, without constant review, is just pie in the sky stuff. Okay, you need to be able to set yourself targets and check on those on a regular basis to make sure you're moving forward and actually hitting those targets. So just some examples of habits you can actually create into your business, and regular reviews could be Monday pipeline review. So every Monday you could be reviewing your pipeline, what you've got coming up in the next few weeks, what you've got coming up for the month. Every Friday, for example, you could have Friday take an hour or so to do job costing, checking your costs on each project, knowing exactly where you are, having a bit of a cash forecast on those projects, knowing what's coming in next, what needs to be invoiced, etc., etc. Have a weekly team meeting. So a great one could just be letting your team know exactly what's happened at the end of every week, let them know how the week went, what the problems were, get some feedback from those guys as well and some suggestions, and then also planning the week ahead. That creates clarity as well, and it means you can switch off over the weekend. Weekly CEO time is massive, okay? So for you guys that are still stuck in the weeds on the tools, this will be hard. But the weekly CEO time is important. If you still have that belief or that habit of thinking that unless you're on the tools, you're creating value, it's when you actually take a step back and take some time away to do those reviews, like the Monday pipeline review, the Friday job costing. Taking time to work on the business is going to push your business forward than you'll ever imagine in 2026. Have a monthly personal review. I do this with my own clients every single month. We review our mood, energy, and performance for the month. And we review that every 30 days and see where we are personally in terms of the business, what needs to change, what needs to be fixed, why our energy is there, why our performance was there, and what we need to work on. And then, of course, a monthly financial review. So what were the targets? Were they met? How are we going to improve this next month, or what do we need to do? So having a review of those on a regular basis puts routine into things, it creates good habits, and that review lets you have a bit of peace of mind as well. It takes things out of your mind and puts things on the paper or a computer, whatever it may be. But the point is, it takes you out of your own head. It stops you overthinking about things, because your business actually becomes a result of your weekly habits. Like inside our program with our clients, we have the daily non-negotiables. We break it down to a daily. What 5 daily habits can you do in order to make you have that effective day? So we can do that weekly, and we also do that monthly. So it's the small weekly habits that make the big difference. It's not your big January motivation that, dies off after 2 weeks, because consistency beats intensity every single time. And the psychology behind why this works is because it gives you focus. Most business owners live in that reactive mode, especially in our game. They respond to whatever lands in their inbox. They respond to whoever is shouting the loudest. They let clients control their time. There's no boundaries in place, and they let the industry dictate their pace. So if things are busy, they're busy. If things are slow, they're slow. But when you decide the target, you decide the plan, and you decide the structure, suddenly everything in your business becomes clear. You are in full control. You stop reacting and start leading. So look, that's it. That's how you plan your entire Q1 in 60 minutes. Those review points, those sections, it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very, very straightforward and simple. And if your business is smaller, it could probably be done in less than 30 minutes. But do not wait until January, because that's too late. So use this December to create clarity, set direction, put structure in place, and leave behind what held you back this year, and step into 2026 with intent. If you win in Q1, then you'll win for the rest of the year. If this helped you, or you want more clarity on the Q1 planning session, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment below, or find us anywhere and drop me a DM on any of our social platforms, and I'll be happy to have a chat with you all about your Q1 planning and the things you can put in place.